Maria, a retired school teacher, checked her bank account one morning to find a horrifying surprise. It was practically empty. Years of savings gone. It turned out her bank had been siphoning off small amounts of money for years through hidden fees and charges. By the time Maria noticed, it was too late. Devastatingly, Maria's story isn't unique. This is happening to millions of people right under our noses. Banks, those institutions we trust with our hard-earned money, are systematically pilfering from us, and they're doing it all perfectly legally. This isn't about bank robberies with ski masks and shotguns. This is about banks using complex financial instruments and legal loopholes to pick our pockets, penny by penny. The worst part? We're often none the wiser. We assume our money is safe, but the truth is far more sinister. Buckle up, because tonight we're going deep into the belly of the beast to expose the shocking truth banks don't want you to know. Think you're safe from this grand heist? Think again. Every year, Americans lose a staggering $290 million from dormant bank accounts that are raided and drained. These are accounts that banks deem inactive. Maybe you forgot about an old checking account or a relative passed away and the account was never properly closed. But here's the kicker. Banks often declare accounts inactive based on arbitrary rules and ridiculously short time frames. Missed a single bank statement? Didn't make a withdrawal for 6 months? Boom, your account could be deemed inactive and ripe for the picking. They slap on exorbitant fees, bleed the account dry, and then conveniently pocket the remaining balance. And it's not just dormant accounts. Overdraft fees, ATM charges, minimum balance penalties. These are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the sneaky tactics banks use to nickel and dime us into financial oblivion. Now you might be thinking, isn't this illegal? How can banks get away with such blatant manipulation and exploitation? Well, that's the truly infuriating part. It's mostly not. The financial system is designed in such a way that these actions, while morally questionable, often fall within the bounds of legality. See, banks are masters at exploiting legal loopholes and writing the rules in their favor. They have teams of lawyers and lobbyists whose sole job is to find and create these loopholes. They lobby politicians, fund campaigns, and essentially buy themselves a free pass to legally rob us blind. This cozy relationship between banks and lawmakers ensures that regulations are often watered down or crafted to benefit the financial giants. Take bail-in legislation, for example. This is a perfect illustration of how banks protect their interests at the expense of the public. This little gem, snuck into law after the 2008 financial crisis, allows banks to seize your deposits to cover their own losses in the event of another meltdown. Imagine waking up one day to find that your savings have been used to bail out a failing bank. That's right, your hard-earned savings could be used to bail out the very institutions that are supposed to be protecting your money. And then there's front-running, another shady practice. This is where banks use their knowledge of your trades to make bets against you, essentially guaranteeing themselves a profit while potentially costing you dearly. They have access to information that gives them an unfair advantage. They know what you're buying and selling before the market does, and they use that information to their advantage. This practice undermines the very principles of a fair and transparent market. It's like playing poker with someone who can see your cards. The deck is stacked against you and the house always wins. Let's unpack this bail-in thing a little further, shall we? Imagine this. The economy takes a nosedive and banks start failing left and right. Instead of using their own money or relying on government bailouts, remember those, they can now legally dip into your savings account to stay afloat. It's like going out to dinner with a friend who forgets their wallet and asks to borrow some cash. Only in this case, your friend is a multi-billion-dollar financial institution, and the cash is your entire life savings. And they're not asking, they're taking. This isn't some far-fetched hypothetical scenario either. Cyprus did it in 2013, using ordinary citizens' deposits to bail out their failing banks. And guess what? The legislation is now in place in the US, Canada, and Europe. They've even given it a friendly-sounding name resolution regime. Don't be fooled. It's a legalized bank heist waiting to happen. Section 5. Front-running. When banks bet against you. Now let's talk about front-running. Because if you thought banks using your money to bail themselves out was bad, wait till you hear this. Imagine you're placing a bet on a horse race. You think you've got a surefire winner, so you put down a hefty sum, but here's the catch. The bookie knows which horse is going to win before the race even starts. That's essentially what banks are doing with front-running. They have access to your trading activity, your investment strategies, your financial hopes and dreams. And they use that information to place their own bets, often betting against you, knowing they have the upper hand. It's like insider trading, but somehow, it's perfectly legal for banks. They call it market making or liquidity provision, but don't be fooled by the fancy jargon. It's just another way for them to rig the system in their favor and pick your pocket while they're at it. Section 6. The teaser trap luring you in with low rates. We've all seen those ads, 0% APR for the first year, low introductory rates. They catch your eye and make you think, this is a deal I can't pass up. They're like shiny lures dangling in the water, promising you a great deal. The allure is almost irresistible. But just like a fish that bites down on a hook, you might end up regretting it. The initial excitement fades and reality sets in. This is the classic teaser rate trap. It's designed to reel you in and keep you hooked. Banks lure you in with attractive introductory offers, only to slam you with sky-high interest rates once the honeymoon period is over. The fine print often goes unnoticed until it's too late. Suddenly, that manageable monthly payment becomes a crushing burden, and you're stuck in a cycle of debt that seems impossible to escape. The stress and anxiety can be overwhelming. Take Joshua, a young professional who got sucked into a credit card offer with a low introductory APR. He thought he was making a smart financial move. He thought he was being financially savvy, but when the rate shot up after a year, he found himself drowning in interest charges. His financial situation quickly spiraled out of control. Joshua's story is tragically common. Many people fall into the same trap, thinking they're getting a great deal, only to be blindsided later. Banks know how to exploit our desire for a good deal, and they're raking in billions by setting these financial traps. It's a well-oiled machine designed to maximize their profits at your expense. Section 7. Data robbery. Your information is the new currency. In the digital age, your data is the new gold rush, and banks are mining it for all it's worth. Every click, every transaction, every digital footprint you leave behind is a nugget of gold for these institutions. They track your every financial move, from your online purchases to your ATM withdrawals, and even your subscription services. Building a detailed profile of your spending habits, your income, your debts, and even your health information. This profile is more comprehensive than you might imagine. And what do they do with this treasure trove of information? They analyze it, categorize it, and then they sell it, of course, to advertisers, data brokers, and marketing firms who are eager to get their hands on your personal data. And even other financial institutions. This data exchange is a booming business. Suddenly, your personal information is being used to target you with ads, manipulate your credit score, and even determine your insurance premiums. It's a domino effect, and it doesn't stop there. Your data can influence the interest rates you get on loans, the job offers you receive, and much more. Sarah, a single mother, found this out the hard way when her health insurance premiums skyrocketed. She was blindsided. It turned out, her bank had sold her data to a third-party company, which then flagged her as a high-risk individual due to some online purchases related to a health condition. This kind of data exploitation is happening every day, affecting countless individuals in ways they never anticipated. This kind of data exploitation is happening every day, and most of us are completely unaware of it. We go about our lives, oblivious to the fact that our personal information is being traded like a commodity. It's time to wake up and realize that in this digital age, your information is the new currency. Protect it wisely. Section 8. Fight back, protect your hard-earned cash. Okay, so we've uncovered the dark underbelly of the banking industry. Now what? The good news is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these predatory practices. First and foremost, read the fine print. I know, it's about as exciting as watching paint dry, but it's crucial. Scrutinize every fee, every charge, every line of that loan agreement. If something seems unclear, ask questions. Don't be afraid to push back and demand transparency from your bank. Second, explore alternative banking options. Credit unions, online banks, and community banks often offer more competitive rates and fewer hidden fees. They're also less likely to engage in the shady practices we've discussed. Third, stay informed. Knowledge is power. The more you know about the tricks banks use, the better equipped you'll be to spot them and avoid them. Read articles, watch documentaries, and follow financial experts who are exposing these issues. Section 9. Spread the word. Knowledge is power. We've been conditioned to trust banks, to believe they have our best interests at heart, but the truth is they're businesses and their primary goal is to make a profit, often at our expense. It's time to wake up, to educate ourselves, and to fight back against these legalized forms of theft. Share this information with your friends, your family, your neighbors. Let's start a conversation about financial literacy and hold these institutions accountable for their actions. Because when we stand together and demand better, we have the power to change the system. Remember, the banks may have the money, but we have the numbers. And it's time we started acting like it.